Hello everybody, my name is David. Thank you for joining me today. I think this video is very important for anybody who's experienced narcissistic abuse. I think this video, it can be very informative for people who have grown up with narcissistic parents, people who have been in long-term or even short-term relationships, intimate relationships with narcissists, or people that have or have to co-parent, raise children with a narcissist. I think this video can benefit everyone. The seriousness of narcissistic personality disorder is very, very misunderstood. This isn't just somebody that, is overly confident or just likes taking selfies. Narcissism can be very, very damaging. These are people on a very high spectrum of narcissism that have narcissistic personality disorders. As I've said before, there are good, there could be a good amount of narcissism that everybody kind of shares some of these, traits. But we're talking on a high spectrum, high level spectrum of narcissism. And it is very destructive in relationships, and the lack of awareness from therapists, from many therapists, can be very damaging when they don't understand the seriousness of this disorder and how it affects people around them and relationships that people have with them. Narcissism or narcissistic abuse doesn't look bad on the surface. That's why it's hard to convince therapists sometimes, or for therapists to even see it. Professionals don't identify it a lot of times, very often. And we need to understand the damaging effects of it. And also, children aren't aware. A lot of people aren't aware, not only that their parents might be a narcissist, but they're not fully aware of the damages from it. And that's something that all of us have a lot of difficulties seeing our own lives and seeing. Because all my clients tell me that most of them say their childhood was normal. And to them it was. We have nothing to compare it to. So it's important to understand the damaging effects of growing up with a narcissistic parent. So I came across an article from a therapist, Dr. Carol McBride, in Psychology Today, and I'll put the link down in the description box below like I always do. And I love Psychology Today. They always have great articles. And Dr. Carol McBride is a licensed marriage and family therapist and author of Will I Ever Be Good Enough, amongst other books. And she gets it. This therapist gets it, which is something that can be rare, as we know. So, not only do many therapists not recognize the seriousness of narcissistic parenting, but children cannot either. So, what I did is, in this article, I just took a list that Dr. McBride made on how narcissistic parenting affects children. And I want to read this list, and it's quite a list. And I hope that this helps all of you with several different things. You guys want to know if your parents are narcissists, or maybe this will help you if you can... if this sounds like a lot of things that you guys experience, your parents may be a narcissist. Okay? So here's the list that she wrote. It's quite a list, like I said, so please try and get through it with me. Child won't feel seen or heard. Child's feelings and reality will not be acknowledged. Child will be treated like an accessory to parent rather than a person. Child will be more valued for what they do rather than for who they are as a person. Child will not learn to identify or trust their own feelings and will grow up with crippling self-doubt. I talk about this all the time. All the time. All of you guys have so much doubt, Child will be taught how they look is more important than how they feel. Child will be fearful of being real. That image is more important than authenticity. Child will be taught to keep secrets to protect the parent and the family. A lot of you guys can identify with that. Child will not be encouraged to develop their own sense of self. Child will feel emotionally empty and not nurtured. Child will learn to not trust others. Child will feel used and manipulated. The child will be there for the parent rather than the other way around, as it should be. The child's emotional development will be stunted. The child will feel criticized and judged rather than loved and accepted. The child will grow frustrated trying to seek love, approval, and attention to no avail. The child will grow up feeling not good enough. The child will not have a role model for healthy emotional connections. The child will not learn appropriate boundaries in relationships. The child will not learn healthy self-care, but instead will be at risk of becoming codependent. The child will have difficulty with the necessary individualism from the parent as he or she grows older. So that autonomy I speak so much about. One of the first lessons that children learn. Child will seek external validation versus internal validation. I just made a video about that recently. If you're interested in that, go watch it. It's about how the narcissist will never validate. The child will get a mixed and crazy making message of do well to make me proud as an extension of the parent, but don't do too well and outshine me. That I love that one because so many of my clients deal with this. And yeah, it's amazing. And here it gets more into that. If the child outshines the parent, they may experience jealousy from the parent. And I'm adding envy. Child is taught to not give credit to self when it's deserved. The child will suffer some level of CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, or anxiety in adulthood. The child will grow up believing he or she is unworthy, unlovable, because if parent cannot love me, who will? The child is often shamed and humiliated by a narcissistic parent and will grow up with poor self-esteem. The child will often become either a huge achiever or self-saboteur, or both. The child will need trauma recovery and will need to reparent themselves in adulthood. So many of you want to know if your parents are narcissistic. Hope this helps. Hope this helps. Many of you want to know how to co-parent with a narcissist. And Dr. McBride, I want to make this clear, this is what Dr. McBride says, not me, believes children should be in therapy to learn assertive skills to use with a parent who does not emotionally tune into them. That's interesting. A lot of parents don't know what to do. So she says you've got quite a job. And it's not that we overcompensate, it's that we need to teach the children to understand and learn how to deal with the other parent. Because as we know, during divorce, the court orders your children with that parent. There's nothing you can do except prepare the children, right? And just know that everything you do with your children, do it with love and empathy, okay? I hope this was informative for some of you, and please, I'm gonna, like I said, I'll leave the description the link in the description box for you guys if you're interested in reading a little bit more about this article. It was a short article besides the list, and but go ahead and feel free to go there and read the rest of the article. I find it very interesting. I'm happy to see therapists go beyond their formal education and learn and understand these things to really help their clients. I really commend that. Too often, people stop at formal education and don't keep learning. And as you know, a lot of you experience this, and a lot of you have had therapists for years. Often, I have a lot of clients that come to me with, they've seen a same therapist for years and feel like the therapist doesn't really help them. That's not always the fault of the therapist. but we need to have progress in therapy. You know, we need to have people that we can trust and understand and know how to help. So thank you guys. As always, ask me questions if you like. Follow the article if you can. And if you can, please try to support me and this channel and this video by voting, thumbs up or down, comment, share it with somebody who could benefit from this, and maybe post it on a social media or groups, forums, stuff like that. It would really, really help. Thank you all. Love yourself first. I'll see you again. Bye.